sissy boy. Most days you wish you were invisible. What's the point of trying? You don't fit in. They never let you forget it. Wish it would end. All you know is that you can't breathe. You got a hole in your heart where love should be. Where can you run away? How can you live a lie? You just don't recognize the light inside. But don't you ever give up, because in time it gets better, babe. Oh, you got to keep pushing on, because tomorrow's another day. Oh, and you just keep doing you, because you're stuck.
Hi, welcome to Happy Hour. We're here at the Doctor's Lounge, and I'd like to introduce you to my new friend, Tyler.
Hey.
Tell me, first of all, your full name.
I'm Tyler Perry Tschantz. I was the first Tyler Perry.
The first Tyler Perry.
Yeah, he copied it, you know.
Totally
I was
copied
always, you know, when I went into movies, that was going to be my name. Now I'm going to have to come up with something else.
So what do you do?
Well, I'm a gardener.
A gardener.
And I also work catering.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
San Francisco, you have to have more than one job to survive.
It's true. Everyone has at least two. What kind of catering jobs do you do?
If I go to another wedding, I'm going to die.
Are you from the Bay Area?
I was born in Ohio.
In Ohio, where?
Wadsworth, the home of the Blue Tip Match.
So what's it like growing up in Wadsworth?
Well, Wadsworth is actually pretty cool because at the end of my street was all country. So I got the best of both worlds, living in the city, and even in a small city, and the country.
So when did you come out?
I never came out in Ohio. I left Ohio and came to college in 1977 in Santa Cruz. I remember Talking Heads' 77 album was like totally hip. I once again fell in love with my best friend who was a bisexual. And
What's wrong with being a bisexual?
well, I think he just used that term to get along, but he was totally gay with me. But you know, there's a really funny thing is this gal in our group wanted to fool around, and I told him about it, and he said, you need to do that to make sure that you're gay. And I did, and it was fun, and we played around twice, and she was very aggressive, which is what I needed.
Okay.
I mean, I don't say that in a bad way, that was like really good. And it was all great and stuff, but I really wanted the man sex. I know because she was great in bed. It wasn't like anything was wrong. Everything was great except there was no cock.
So after that, after college, then what happened?
Well, I broke up with my boyfriend, and I met a guy a week later who was twice my age. He invited me to a date, and so I went out with him, and he lived in the mountains of Santa Cruz where there was no electricity, no telephone, and the date lasted a week. And I was with him for 17 years until he died.
Oh, wow. 17 years.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
lost it.
Yeah. Yeah.
To what?
Cancer. He got cancer. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It was totally devastating. I'm like, I could just like cry right now. He was the love of my life. I've been married twice after that, but you know, each marriage has been wonderful, but Phil was the one. And the last guy that I was married with said, you know, I don't know if I can like hold a candle to this Phil guy, you know? And I said, no, you don't get it. I'm the one that has to hold a candle because I know what it is to be a good husband now. So I have to come up with that. You just have to be who you are. And I wish I would have paid attention to cooking because he was a great cook.
Oh, bless you for that, Phil.
Yeah, he was like, chop the vegetables and get out of my kitchen. And so when he died, it's like, I don't know what to do. How do I feed myself?
So you have an alter ego that has recently surfaced.
I do.
Talk to me about her.
I've always been one of those gays that never wanted to do drag, and I would come up to San Francisco and the drag queens would like come up to me and I was terrified of them. Oh my God. To deal with that uncomfortableness, as soon as I went in a gay bar, I would walk up to the drag queens and introduce myself. That way, I was in control of the situation, you know. And I don't know why they scared me. I think maybe it was a masculinity issue, stuff. But I was young. I was still trying to figure out, you know, my place in the world. Wasn't out to my family and friends, but I've always been into costume.
Okay.
Once I moved to New Orleans, that's all about costume.
There's a lot of costume.
You have to have a new costume every 6 weeks. If somebody's birthday party, St. Patrick's Day, Southern Decadence, you have to have a costume. And I totally immersed myself into every part of that culture. And so when I moved to San Francisco, I definitely got into the Halloween stuff and made some great costumes and Folsom and everything. I do scary Halloween. You have a choice to do sexy Halloween,
Which everyone does.
poster worker, like just some kind of boring Halloween, and scary. Nobody does scary anymore.
Not as much.
And I've always been fascinated with scary, so I don't care if I get laid, I want to be scary.
Okay.
And so I made this really scary headpiece, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And my boyfriend at the time found this dress, and he like put me in it, and it was phenomenal. And he's like, "You should do this." And I'm like, "I don't want to go in drag." And I looked in the mirror and I went, "Fucking works." I'm sorry, if you're a doctor and you're in your outfit, you're a leather boy, you're a girl in a dress, it's all drag.
It's all drag.
You know, you're a waiter, you're in
It
drag.
is.
For me, you know, I wait, you know, I do all this waiting table shit. I'm in drag. It's not me, it's just whatever it is. So I went, okay, so I put the dress on. And
Disturbia was born.
well, I was walking up to some totally posh house, and I was like, they're gonna, "What are we gonna call you?" And I said, "I don't know, Disturbia."
It just popped out.
It just popped out. I don't know where it came from. And
If you had one message to send to the straight community, what would it be?
well, you know, I would just say, I'm your brother. I'm the guy that pumps your gas. I'm the teller. You know, I'm the guy that sweeps the streets. I don't want anything more than you have. Once we get marriage equality, we will have exactly the same rights as you. We don't want anything more. We just want to love who we love, and we want our rights. I want to visit my dying husband. I have been denied to go to the hospital, because his mother didn't want me to go, and that was the love of my life. I just want to say, I don't want anything special. I just want what you have.
I'm sorry you had to go through that experience.
It was
can't
pretty horrible.
even
I
imagine.
did finally get to see him the day he died, though.
Not to have that assumed, right, to see your husband.
It was horrific.
That's when he's in the hospital on his deathbed.
Yeah,
that's
and you know, he asked for me and I couldn't go.
because his mother was blocking you
Yeah.
from being there.
Yeah.
And she had a legal right to do so.
Exactly.
And that is exactly why I'm doing this. And I don't want that to happen for
No.
you, for me, for anyone.
Well, and you know, I got through it, but what about him? I mean, he's dying. You know, maybe he would want to be with the person he loves most in the world.
If you had a message to send to the gay youth that are still struggling with coming out, struggling with their families, their own mothers that maybe not seeing things eye to eye, what would that message be?
As somebody that struggled through their youth, I thought about suicide 3 times. I got everything together. I was going to cut my wrists, and I just couldn't do it. And I'm so glad I didn't. Because, you know, there's a whole campaign called It Gets Better. It really does. And you're so lucky to be alive now because we have a chance for equality. Don't ever hurt yourself. Just don't do it. You know, get help when you need it. I've had the most incredible life, and I'm so glad for it. I'm going to be 57 in a week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And, if I would have cut my wrist when I was 14, I would not have all the joys that I've had. And I've had so many joys. And I saved this little dog's life. And I've saved many more. And, that's worth it.
Worth it. Well, thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your candor. Thank you for being so open.
Oh, my pleasure.
With us. Thank you all for coming to Happy Hour with Cameron Stiehl. And please keep coming back.
You're a freak, a weirdo, a sissy boy. Most days you wish you were invisible. What's the point of trying? You don't fit in. They never let you forget it. Wish it would end. All you know is that you can't breathe. You got a hole in your heart where love should be. Where can you run away? How can you live a lie? You just don't recognize